This is Nat Dog at Night. This is a show where I can talk about whatever I want to, so let's just get right into it.
That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
First off, I want to talk about the game that I went to this past Saturday. I went to the UNC Charlotte and Tennessee game. I thought it was going to be a blowout. I thought Tennessee was going to win by like 40. One of my friends said that it was going to be a close game, but I didn't believe them at all. I thought Charlotte stood no chance of winning this game. It was Tennessee's homecoming, so I thought they was going to go out there and just dominate. But this game turned out to be really good. Tennessee won the game 14-3, but Charlotte played better than Tennessee. Charlotte probably should have won this game, if not for just a couple things, you know, to go their way. I didn't know much about Charlotte going into this game, but their defense is great. Their defense is ranked 12th in yards per game in the FBS, and ranked 3rd in rushing defense per game, just behind Michigan State and Texas A&M. In this game, they really shut down Tennessee's running game. Tennessee had 26 rushes for 20 yards, but Tennessee actually gained 27 yards on their final drive on the ground. So before their final drive in the fourth quarter, they had -7 yards rushing for the entire game. That is terrible. I don't care who you are playing. If you are in the negative in rushing yards, you rarely win a game. Tennessee had a punt return for a touchdown in this game, but that actually probably shouldn't have happened because the previous play, they had to re-punt. It was a punt inside the 5, but Charlotte got called for too many men not on the line of scrimmage, so they had to re-punt, and then he takes it like 80 yards to the house and scores a touchdown. Overall, I think Charlotte played better than Tennessee, just the calls went Tennessee's way. Also, I want to say something about the stadium. That stadium is amazing. When I was walking up to that thing, it was just like, wow, I had never seen anything like it. It is humongous. That's why I went there in the first place, because I wanted to go to the Neyland Stadium and see how big it was, holding over 100,000. I had never experienced anything like that. So, that was something to go for. If you've never been to a Tennessee game, you should go there just to experience the stadium. Although they need a better audio system, like all the sound comes from the ground level, like on the field, you would think something that huge would have a better audio system than that. But overall, it was a great experience. Next up, I want to talk about the NFL game that I went to. I went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. As you already know, I'm a die-hard Panthers fan. The Panthers won this game 42-28. They scored 35 at halftime. They were playing amazing in the first half. Christian McCaffrey and Cam Newton had huge games. Cam Newton only missed on 6 of his passes. He went 19 for 25 for 247 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's playing great this year. I think he was injured last year. He's playing really good. He's almost at the level of his MVP year. He's actually almost playing better. He has more touchdowns at this point than he had when he won the MVP in 2015. There was 2 huge plays in this game. Christian McCaffrey hurdled over a dude. Here it is right here.
Backfield, it could be a triple option right here. It's McCaffrey on the screen. Oh, he hurdles Carlton Davis across midfield and is finally forced out of bounds.
That play was straight up awesome. Christian McCaffrey has been playing amazing as of lately. In this game, he had 17 carries for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns, and 5 catches for 78 yards. Also, they had another really awesome play in this game. The Panthers ran a reverse and gave the ball to Curtis Samuel, who scored on a 33-yard touchdown. But in the process, he ran 103.9 yards in the process to gain 33 yards. Let's see that right now.
Off the fake to McCaffrey. Moore pitches it back to Samuel. Newton leading the way for Curtis Samuel. Cuts it back inside. Samuel still on his feet inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown. What a play.
The whole stadium was going crazy during that play. It was amazing. Curtis Samuel also had 2 catches for 25 yards and a touchdown on top of that run for 33 yards and a touchdown. The Panthers are playing really good right now. They're 6-2. They're 1 game out of the lead in the NFC South. The Saints are leading the division at 7-1. We have 2 games still to come against the Saints, so we still control our own destiny. We could actually be one of the top seeds in the NFC if we can continue to play. especially if we play like we did during the first half. Okay, so this week I plan on attending 2 college football games. I plan on going to the Wake Forest at NC State game tomorrow night and going to the UNC at Duke game Saturday. I'm going to talk about NC State for a little bit. NC State moved up to number 14 in the college football playoff rankings last night. They moved up 7 spots. I do not think they should be on this poll. I do not think they should have moved up 7 spots. The college football playoff rankings are supposed to be how a team is playing right now. In the past 3 weeks, NC State is 1-2. They have a losing record in the last 3 weeks. But yet, they're moving up the polls. It doesn't make sense. They moved up 7 spots for beating one team that has a losing record. It doesn't make sense. Florida State is 4-5 this year. And yet, when you beat them, you move up 7 spots to number 14? That doesn't make sense, and that should not be happening. As you can tell, I don't like NC State that much, so we're just going to go on to the game against Florida State, because they actually did play really good. It was actually the biggest victory that NC State has ever had over Florida State. Ryan Finley is a good quarterback. I do like Ryan Finley. He went 21 for 27 with 240 yards passing and 3 touchdowns in this game. So he played really good. This was the largest margin of victory that NC State has ever had over Florida State at 19 points. Interesting fact, every other time that NC State has scored 40 points against Florida State, they actually lost the game. The largest margin of victory for Florida State, though, is 77-17. I had to throw that out there. Did y'all see Clemson beat Louisville 77-16 this past weekend? That was amazing. How can you be that terrible? But nevertheless, I think NC State will win the game against Wake Forest. I think they're the better team. Wake Forest just isn't as good as the rest of the ACC teams. But I just had to throw that out there that I do not think NC State should be ranked at 14. Lastly, I want to talk about how dominant Duke basketball looked last night. They won by 34 points over number 2 ranked Kentucky. As you know, I'm a diehard UNC fan, so I can't stand Duke whatsoever. I hate them completely. But they won 118-84. Their 3 incoming superstars that they have, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, and Zion Williamson, played amazing. R.J. Barrett had 33 points, Cam Reddish had 22, and Zion Williamson had 28. It was ridiculous. They just completely dominated Kentucky completely. It was scary to watch because, as you know, UNC fan, we hate Duke. But it was scary because the whole time I'm thinking, they almost look impossible to beat. I really don't know how somebody can beat them right now. Hopefully Kentucky just isn't that good of a team, because if Kentucky actually is the best, one of the top 2 teams in the nation, nobody is going to beat Duke because they just looked unstoppable last night. And that's coming from me, and that's hard for me to say, but Duke looked amazing last night. And I hope that they can not continue that. They also shot amazing from 3-point range, like 46%. The only thing they did not do good was free throws. They shot 20 for 29 from the free throw line, which is like 69%. So that might be their weakness this year. But hopefully they are not as good as they seemed in the first game. It's only the first game, so no need to panic yet. But UNC might need to do a little bit of work because they only won by 11 over Wofford to get to the level of Duke right now. But I think by the time that we play Duke, we will have the talent and we'll be working together and we will be able to beat Duke. Because I like the UNC team, how they look right now. I actually do. I think they could contend for the national championship again, like they won it 2 years ago. But Duke looks good, and I think UNC will beat them, and I will always say that no matter what I think.
We can make a wildfire.